I'm a grown man, not paying my own bills.
I'm Tracy.
This thing on? I'm Vasco.
And we are
Brown Family
Builders. What are we talking about today, babe? Talking about organizing your finances as a couple before you invest in real estate.
As a couple.
As a couple. What I said, as a couple. Real talk, bad manners. When we first got together, I had no interest in combining my finances with any man. Periods, as the young people say. Primarily because I just had never done it. So I had never had to share my finances. Before I lived with Voss, I didn't live with anyone. Well, I had roommates, but I never lived with a partner. And so I just didn't really know what that was like. And I didn't really see the need for it, right? Like I was just kind of like, we'll figure out how we want to pay for stuff. And if anything, like you could give me your portion and I'll pay it. Because that's just kind of the habit that I had built.
I don't think so. I'm a grown man, not paying my own bills.
That's it. That's all you got to say about that.
I came from a family structure where we all shared in buying things. We shared finances. So coming to this, creating this new family between us and not sharing finances didn't make sense to me. It's absurd that Tracy still wanted to, behave or spend separately or not combine incomes. I don't know. For me, it was important to build together and by, combining our income so that we can spend together. And help each other out. But Tracy didn't see that way. So she'd rather keep it separate, and you spend what you spend on, I spend what I spend on. It's more about control, more about comfortability with letting your money be used by somebody else, or I'll let you tell what it's about.
Yeah, I think it was just like I honestly didn't get the need in the beginning. I will admit that. Like I was just kind of like, as long as we have, our bills are paid, right? And this is obviously before we bought a house together. I was kind of like, as long as our bills are paid, we're good, right? But I think after we moved in together fairly early on. Mm-hmm. So we moved in together after 6 months. So although we were quite in love, some things just take time, right? And I think although at that point I trusted him with most things, I think finances was something that I didn't even realize that was an area that I would need work on in terms of, I don't even want to say it like that, but I just never thought about how that worked in relationships. It's just not something I'd really given any thought to. So, and
being in love does not require that you share your money. There's
Facts.
plenty of relationships that work very well where the money, their incomes and money are not saved together. Everyone pays, one person pays half the finances, one person pays the mortgage, and the other person pays the other bills. There's plenty of relationships that work that way.
But as we grew and we realized that we had some bigger goals, like as we started kind of visioning and talking about what was really important to us, I realized that combining finances would be the most efficient and effective way of us reaching those goals.
It was a 3-year fight. Thank God she did. Thank God she realized this. Like, it was simple math. But anyway. For me, it was simple math. For her, it's much more than that.
Well, he's going to do his own episode where he talks about how he tried to switch up on me after I finally agreed to combine finances. In
a few words, when she was ready to combine finances, I was off that. I was like, look, we're fine right now. I make my own money, I pay my own bills, and I pay some bills that are joint together, and that's it. I didn't need to join anymore because it's been so long in fighting to get her to see, what made sense to me, and after a while I stopped asking. So, but all of a sudden, one day she just like, yeah, we should do this. Like, what? I'm not thinking about that anymore. Why are we doing this anymore? So it took me a while to even agree to it, and I probably still have a few more thoughts, about it, but those are all emotional. They're not based on what makes sense in math.
It's true. But I think the emotions are important, right? Because I think they, as much as we try to pretend that we are logical human beings, and when I say we, I mean like humanity, much of what we do is driven by emotion and subconscious thought. So I think it's important to, to kind of look at like what is the thing. Like I will say, I know very early on in the beginning when we first moved in together, the apartment was in my name, right? And so you were supposed to give me like a certain amount towards the bills. And I remember that you were late, or you just didn't give it to me. It wasn't like you had the money, but you weren't like, boom, it's the first, like here it is. And that just freaked me out so much that I think I just held that, and I was like, you know what? Nope, I'm not. Like,
well, she made that mean something.
I did, absolutely.
Like she made it mean a whole lot of things way past. I just didn't give you money, and I forgot about it. She made that mean I wasn't responsible. She made that mean this sharing money is not going to work. All these things, and I'm like, yo, I just forgot. Can't forget.
I think when you get into a relationship, you want your partner to not take care of you, but to do things the way you would do them or better than you would do them, right? That's kind of the hope, I think, at the beginning, right?
Is it the way you do them or actually better than you actually do them?
Well, maybe,
realistically,
but definitely not worse, right?
Realistically, folks hold everyone else to higher standard than they hold themselves.
Yeah, that's
realistic.
Yeah, that's true. And so I think she'll kind of set us off on the wrong page with how I responded. And then, and it just kind of, what I made it mean was like, okay, I have to do this for myself. Like, and I think it took me a while to just relax and just be like, okay, that was just an honest mistake. And like, he is actually very responsible and he is actually really good with money. It just took time for us to learn these things about each other.
I tend to automate things. If I don't automate things, I'll forget it. If I didn't automate that transaction, I forgot it. I didn't automate it. I didn't do what I normally do, just automate it.
And I think that's an important part about combining finances with a partner is you have to know what works for you and what works for them. And I think for both of us, we are both like set it and forget it, as Tiffany the budget Nisa would say, set it and forget it. So we are automated people. We're not sit down in the first and or remember or put in the calendar and it's like, let's automate that, right? And so a strength that we both have is being able to sort of plan ahead and schedule things in advance. Something that we had to both work on together was circling back and like double checking, like, hey, did that money actually come out? Hey, do we have enough in the account to cover that? And just making sure that those things that, although the goal is to set it and forget it, you also need to be minding where your money is going so that you can make sure you don't rack up unnecessary fees and unnecessary charges or just miss payments and mess up your credit because of a simple mistake.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for part 2, getting your coins together as a couple to invest in real estate. Don't forget to like and subscribe.